This is the history of the crab fishing boat Wizard, which is featured on the TV show Deadliest Catch. The Wizard is a 155 by 30 foot vessel commissioned to be built by the U.S. Navy in 1945 in Brooklyn, New York. Her original name is an International Marine Organization YO-210. She was one of the few remaining YO-153 class vessels. After World War II, she was laid up and mothballed in Boston Harbor. Some of the oiler fleet was used as target practice or the beginning of artificial reefs off the eastern seaboard in the last few decades. YO-210 was eventually purchased and made one trip unsuccessfully as the Clifford K hauling molasses before being purchased by John Jurgensen in 1978 to be converted into a fishing vessel to fish for crab in the Bering Sea. The boat was renamed the Wizard after his grandfather's longliner, which was one of the premier cod and halibut boats in the Seattle fleet in the early mid-20th century. John's father and grandfather were Norwegian immigrants in the pioneer days of the Alaskan commercial fishing industry, and John started working for them at a very young age. Binder's Shipyards in Louisiana converted the Wizard into a crabber in 1978, from where John and his family sailed her through the Panama Canal and up to Seattle, where Marco Shipyards finished the conversion. She originally had 8 tanks for carrying oil cargo. During the conversion, 2 of the tanks were eliminated to increase the size of the engine room, to add extra generators and a saltwater circulation system. 4 of the original tanks are used as live holding tanks for crab, and the 2 forward tanks are used for dry storage and refrigerated seawater unit. The house and living quarters were increased, and a substantial amount of hydraulics for the 2 cranes and crab pot hauler equipment were added. The fishing vessel Wizard began fishing crab in 1979 during what was known as the King Crab A-Day in the late 70s. She targeted primarily barradie and opilio crab throughout the 80s. In the late 80s, when the king crab had recovered and opilio quotas surged to phenomenal levels, the Wizard was routinely one of the top 10 crabbers producing in the Bering Sea in a fleet that at times would be in excess of 270 vessels. Under John Jurgensen's tutelage, while still active as a captain, Keith Coburn learned the ropes and became a proficient crab captain. In 2005, when NOAA enacted the crab rationalization program, vessels of the Bering Sea were awarded IFQs, individual fishing quotas. The Wizard's king crab and opilio allocations were among the highest in the Bering Sea for an individual boat, ranking in the top 5 for kings and top 10 for opilios in a fleet in excess of 250 vessels. John Jurgensen sold the Wizard to Keith Coburn in July of 2005. John maintains a close relationship with Keith, who harvests his IFQ allocation, as well as a number of other IFQ crab holders, and it's all by a lease agreement. This boat has an amazing history, dating back to 1945 when she was built as a yard oiler for the U.S. Navy, and 79 years later she's still going as a Bering Sea crabber. Pretty amazing when you think about it, that's for sure. Good luck to Captain Keith and his crew. Hopefully the old Wizard keeps bringing everybody home safe.